I walked through the damp, foggy streets, my mind swirling. So much content, so many podcasts. How do I find the best? Then it hit me, like a big blue neon sign flashing through the mist. Blueberry. All I had to do was drop the E's and go to blueberry.com. Blueberry, the digital media interface for consumers, creators, and advertisers.
The following program is brought to you in living color.
Something in the air? You bet. Excitement.
He's here. It's Max Gluteus, king of the radio gumshoes.
Starting right now. Wait, 247.
Oh, Christ, I only have 1 foot on the scale. Let me get the other one up there. Oh, God.
Fortune. Danger.
Well, I can't say as I'm too happy with that either.
Who is it?
I am known as Max Gluteus, king of the radio gumshoe, scourge of the right-wing villains who would enforce their religion, their lifestyle on all. Yes, podcast listeners, you're in for a treat. Another episode of Max Gluteus, king of the radio gumshoes, as he scours the streets of the greater Baltimore area, weeding out evil where he finds it, squashing the insects that crawl out from under the rock when you turn it over, putting them between his fingers, squishing them until they pop, which is a sound he enjoys more than almost anything. Except maybe for a box of donuts being opened.
Yes, once again it is time to join America's favorite radio gumshoe as he applies his skills, his talents, and his considerable weight to solving yet another crime.
This is a little caper I like to call When Hogs Fly. I was sitting in my office on a Wednesday morning, had my shoes off and 1 foot up on my desk as I was trying to use a fingernail scraper to get that stuff out from underneath my big toenail, which had grown back crookedly since the last time I tried to clip my toenails and accidentally tore one off. My leggy, wise-cracking assistant, Go-Go McQuestion, came bursting through the door, all breathless with excitement.
Oh my God, Max! What's that smell? Are you making cheese again?
I sat there, unanswering, watching not so much the expression of disgust on her face as I was the movement of her chest as she tried to catch her breath. But she's an observant girl, that one.
For God's sake, would you quit looking at my boobs and answer my question?
Give me a moment. Just one moment. All right, there. All right. Now I can answer your question. No, I am not making cheese. As you can see by looking at me, I have my foot up on my desk, and as you can easily ascertain by this large pile of powdery substance on my desk.
Is that Parmesan?
Go-Go was as dim-witted as she was pretty, and my God was she pretty.
No, you silly Goose, it is not Parmesan.
Are you doing the cocaine again?
Go-Go, sit down. Look at me. Do I look like the sort of person who would use cocaine?
Well, now I think about it, only if they used it to powder donuts. But I'm still wondering, what is that smell?
I can see the detective lessons I've been paying you to attend are not working very well. Look at me.
Okay, I'm looking at you.
And what's the first thing you notice upon looking at me?
Well, you're grossly overweight, you have no hair, you have scabs on your scalp which are easy to see, and
I mean other than the things you see every day. What looks different about this current setting?
let's see. Your foot is on your desk. You're not wearing your shoes. Your sock is off. And there's a small trickle of blood oozing out from under your toenail, which only recently regrew. And, oh, I know, you're cleaning your toenails.
I would have called her smart girl then, but she would have known I was lying.
So what's with all this hubbub? You come running in here, all breathless and heaving, and your chest expanding and contracting like it does, waving an envelope around in the air. What's going on, girl?
Oh, right. Let me think. Oh, it's a letter for you, and it's from the Carroll County Circuit Clerk of Courts. And I know the trouble you had in Carroll County.
She plugged her nose and inched her way closer to my desk to flip the envelope onto my desktop. It was addressed from the Circuit Clerk of Courts at Carroll County, and I knew it could only be one thing.
Oh, God, I wonder what's got Hoggy's pecker up this time.
I opened the envelope and withdrew the letter from inside. It was a single page, but it shocked me to my core.
Oh my God! Should I get the nitroglycerin pills? You look like you're shocked to your core.
That son of a bitch, Hoggy.
Are you allowed to say that on the radio?
No, I am not, and I will gladly pay any FCC fine later. But Hoggy had it in for me ever since I supplied the state's attorney with the evidence that proved his son, Hoggy Jr., had murdered and eaten his own mother. He was never going to let me live that down.
Well, Go-Go, it would seem that Hoggy has taken out another peace order against me and has already accused me of violating it.
How can you violate a peace order when you didn't even know you had one on you?
Remember, dear girl, we're talking about Carroll County, Maryland. Practical rules like gravity don't apply up there.
Oh, well, what is he saying that you did to violate this peace order that you didn't have?
Well, it makes me chuckle to think about it now, but I took out a small classified ad in the Carroll County Tribune that said, "Nana Nana Boo Boo, Hoggy smells like poo-poo." And he convinced a commissioner of the court that was a direct contact in violation of his damned non-existent peace order.
One is forced to wonder what what sort of chimpanzee they hire to be a court commissioner up there in Carroll County. When presented with evidence some years ago that during the height of a hurricane I somehow commandeered a newspaper office in Venezuela and wrote a nasty letter to the editor in Portuguese directed at Hoggy, he convinced a court commissioner that it was I who wrote it. Of course, the state's attorney refused to prosecute such nonsense, but it looked like they were going to take this case.
Are these the same court commissioners who said that you did not have probable cause that a crime was committed when Hoggy received a letter that you didn't send and I didn't mail and you didn't sign, and you could prove that it was a traced signature, and they still wouldn't give you the benefit of the doubt?
The self-same commissioners, Go-Go.
Sweet Jesus, what a pack of assholes!
Well, I'm fairly sure we can't say that on the radio either, but I'll pay the fine, and I'll pay it gladly.
Good heavens, what a predicament! How will Max Gluteus get out of this one? We'll be back with more after these messages.
To think just what that means? Of course, it means many things. Our traditions of freedom, our democratic government, and our system of justice. But a fundamental part of the American way is our economic system. Our economic system is not perfect. That's a simple historical fact. But the American economic system has brought greater material means for happiness to more people than any other system the world has ever known. Especially in these critical times, all of us should work to defend and improve this system. And the best way to defend and improve our economic system is to learn how it works. You can get a free booklet explaining our economy by writing to Box 10, Times Square Station, New York City. Just write to Box 10, Times Square Station, New York City, and ask for your free copy of The Miracle of America. Across the nation, communities and the parents of Boy Scouts are observing Boy Scout Week, agreeing with the boys themselves that adventure, that's scouting.
And now, back to this thrilling episode of Max Gluteus, King of the Radio Gumshoes.
Circuit Courthouse. I hated the smell of the place, the sight of the place, the hard wooden furniture on which I was supposed to plant my ample buttocks for however long I was supposed to plant them, waiting for our case to be called when who should I see come sauntering down the hallway?
How unpleasant to see you again.
It's no great thrill for me either, Hoggy. By the way, how's Hoggy Jr. enjoying the prison chow? Is it as good as Mother used to make?
A boy eats his mother one time and you want to punish him for it for the rest of his life. What kind of human being are you, Gluteus?
The kind who will never rest until you and your fellow right-wing conspirators are locked away where you can do no harm to anyone ever again.
Give it up, Gluteus. You know you can't beat me.
I've faced 368 charges from you, 1 lawsuit, 1 contempt of court hearing, and won them all.
Ah, but I did get the peace order against you.
Which you got by lying to the judge about how hard it is to not buy a newspaper? Didn't your mother teach you that lying is wrong? Or did you eat her before she could teach you that lesson?
Oh, damn you to hell, Maximus. If it weren't for all these armed police officers around here,
You'd what?
I tell you, but the bailiff is signaling to us that our case is next. So, shall we, Gluteus Maximus?
Someday I will murder that man, but this will not be the day.
All rise, court is now in session. Face the flag, your country recognizes the principles for which it stands. Sit down. Municipal Court number 38 is now in session. Honorable Gladys Dykes presiding.
Good morning. Bailiff, you may call the first case of the day.
As it so happened, we were the first case of the day. The judge swore in Hoggy, and the state's attorney began to ask him questions about my alleged offense.
And how did you know that this communication was directly meant for you?
Nana, boo-boo. Hoggy smells like poo-poo. Who else in this town, in Carroll County for that matter, do you know named Hoggy?
I object, Your Honor. There's his wife, Bonnie Hoggy, and his only offspring, Little Hoggy. So it could have been any one of them. But Little Hoggy is off for a little stretch at the big house, and everyone knows Bonnie Hoggy smells like flowers. So the only Hoggy he could have possibly have been referring to is the plaintiff.
Objection overruled.
And Mr. Hoggy, how did you know that it was Mr. Gluteus who sent that message to the classifieds of the newspaper?
Well, who else could it have been? Who else do you know who hates me so much and for no reason as to embarrass me like that in the pages of our local newspaper, in the official organ of Carroll County?
Oh, come off of it, Hoggy. I think we could stop 20 people in the streets right outside the courthouse here and find at least 15 who detest the very sight of you. Why, that's nonsense. Everybody knows that Hoggy is the most beloved individual in this town.
Yes, it is true. I am beloved.
By anyone outside of your little crowd of readers, your lick-spittle lackeys from around the nation? We object, Your Honor, because we have no idea what Mr. Maximus is talking about. Well, maybe this will refresh your memory, Mr. State's Attorney. Look at this flyer Mr. Hoggy was handing around town, inviting his fans, the few that there are, to drop by the courthouse today to cheer for him in support.
Objection overruled. Do you have anything more, Mr. State's Attorney, before I render judgment?
No, Your Honor.
Then it is the ruling of the court that Maxwell Gluteus is hereby declared.
Just one moment, Your Honor. I know this is Carroll County, and things are done differently up here, but I believe you're giving me grounds for appeal by not allowing me to testify or present evidence. Fine. All right, what's your evidence? I would like to introduce into evidence this recording, which is currently at the position of number 2 on the hit parade here at the Westminster, Maryland radio station.
We object, Your Honor. We haven't heard the...
I've never heard of such a thing, a record being used as evidence.
Objection overruled. I'd like to hear the record.
And don't worry, Hoggy. Once I'm done playing it, I'll allow you to keep it.
It took a few moments for the court bailiff to find a record player capable of playing a 45 RPM record, but he finally did locate one, plugged it in, and I handed him the record. He put it on the turntable and put the needle down in the groove, and the entire courtroom heard this song. Sitting on a court bench, eyes a teenage girl with bad intent. Poop is caked into his beard. Stubby fingers scratch his scabby head. Hey, Hoggy man, dying from his bad heart. Skin made gray from hate and lack of sun. Hey, Hoggy man knows that he's a dead duck, spitting out clots from his rotting lungs. Oh, Hoggy man, so freaking old, a sick man wastes his last days, spending time the only way he knows. Chest hurting bad as he staggers to the courthouse. He wants to try once more his foe to beat. Leave her alone, that's all her father asked. Forget that we exist and just let us be. Hoggy man, you fool, don't you know that you're a loser? You foolish dolt, the truth won't set you free. Do you still remember the last time you went to court? When you thought that just your lying word would your opponent thwart? And you sit in startled silence when justice reared its head, and the judge said he's not guilty in the least. So freaking old, a sick man wastes his last days, spending time the only way he knows. Chest hurting bad as he staggers to the courthouse. He wants to try once more his foe to beat. Oh, leave her alone, that's all her father asked. Forget that we exist and let us be. Hoggy man, you fool, don't you know that you're a loser? You foolish dolt, the truth won't set you free. Oh, yeah. Hoggy man, you fool! Don't you know that you're the loser? You foolish dolt, the truth won't set you free. No, it won't. The truth is your worst enemy. Sitting on a court bench, eyes a teenage girl with bad intent. Poop is caked into his beard. Stubby fingers scratch his scabby head. Hoggy man died from his bad heart. Skin made gray from hate and lack of sun. Hoggy man knows that he's a dead duck, spitting out clots from his rotting lungs. Ooh, Hoggy man.
Now, Your Honor, you tell me, if he is the most beloved man in town, how does a song like that end up at number 2 on the Westminster Radio Hit Parade?
This court finds the defendant not guilty.
Okay. I will not stand for this. I'll sue all of you.
Oh, he fell out of his chair.
Get the doctor in here quickly.
Here I am.
How is he?
This man is dead.
I thought you said he was dead.
Well, Your Honor, if I may speak, I've seen a lot of situations like this in my years as the king of the gumshoes, and I believe what we just heard was the sound of the soul leaving the body.
We'll be back with the conclusion of this exciting episode of Max Gluteus, King of the Gumshoes, after this.
Spry with Cake Improver. Spry with Cake Improver. Spry means higher, richer, lighter, finer textured cake. Spry means easy, sure success with every cake you bake. Spry with Cake Improver. Spry with Cake Improver.
It's S-P-R-Y, Spry, and it's one bowl method for the most delicious cakes ever. For no other type shortening has Spry's marvelous cake improver. Try Spry.
And now, back to Max Gluteus, King of the Gumshoes.
Wow, look who's back. I thought I'd see you next wearing a striped uniform with a ball and chain attached to your leg.
Oh, that go-go McQuestion. No brains, but great gams. I'd like to plow her like the North 40 on Grandpa's old farm.
Well, I suppose this means that things went okay in the courtroom for you. What happened?
Well, remember the last time Hoggy had me in court? And he said that the only way I'd ever get the goods on him would be when pigs fly.
Yeah? And then what happened?
Hoggy sprouted wings and flew away. Angel wings. Ah!
Oh, my God. You finally did it. You went nuts and you went berserk and you murdered him, didn't you?
Not that I would mind taking credit for this one, but no, I'm afraid it was just your garden variety massive coronary that did the trick. And speaking of matters related to the heart, Go-Go, when are you and I going to go out for that late-night Snickers and milkshake party we keep talking about doing someday? As I recall, you said when pigs fly. Last time I asked.
I'm on my period.
Well, it's like Daddy always said.
Remember, nobody loves a fat man.
But, oh, how a fat man can love. You've been listening to another exciting episode of Max Gluteus, King of the Gumshoes. Be with us next time for the next adventure, which we don't even know what it is yet because we haven't written it. And don't forget to visit our website, Max Gluteus. That's one word, maxgluteus.com.
This podcast is part of the Blueberry Network. Blueberry.com is where listeners and podcasters come together. Check it out at blueberrywithnoease.com.